Congratulations. You came across this video when your phone battery was at 7. Today we're watching a 2024 horror thriller film. We Bury the Dead, a major American weapons experiment, led to the destruction of a small island. The residents on the island, under the influence of the weapon, all turned into corpses, as if frozen in death by a camera. But what's exaggerated is, these corpses can actually wake up a second time, becoming walking dead. No one expected this originally peaceful and quiet town would suddenly, due to a weapons experiment, become a hell on earth. Sometime later, the story comes to our protagonist Ava. She boarded the plane with an uneasy heart, and soon arrived on this small island. Her husband had come to the island on a business trip not long ago. This sudden incident made her heart race with anxiety. Although she knew the chances of her husband surviving were slim, she still held on to a glimmer of hope, and joined the body recovery team, hoping to find her husband herself. But just after arriving, the staff told her she could only search for bodies on the periphery, and couldn't enter the heavily affected area inside. This was for their safety. To join in, Ava had no choice but to agree. At this moment, an officer explained to all the people participating in the body search, and started talking. Although the people on the island have all died and become corpses, they might still wake up a second time. When they wake up again, they have no human consciousness. They only know to attack. In short, they've turned into zombies. But the corpses that have just woken up a second time move slowly, and won't pose a threat to them. So, the officer told the body searchers that once they spot anything unusual, to release a flare immediately. The soldiers would see it and rush over to execute the reawakened corpses with guns. After explaining all the precautions, Ava teamed up with others and came to the edge of the island to search for bodies. They entered an empty small house. On the walls inside hung photos of this family's originally happy life. But the room now was deathly silent, completely devoid of any signs of life or living people. There was only a stench mixed in the air. Soon, Ava, in the backyard of the house, discovered the family's bodies. The family of 3 on a peaceful and beautiful afternoon fell in the yard. Ava was shocked at the sight. Then, with another person, she carried the bodies out of the house. At this time, other houses also carried out bodies one after another. That weapons experiment was truly terrifying. Even the people on the edge of the island were all wiped out. At this moment, the woman working with Ava couldn't stand this tragic scene. She vomited heavily in disgust, then turned and left this place of trouble, leaving Ava alone squatting by the roadside, lost in thought. But she couldn't leave here, because she still had to find a way to continue forward, to find her own husband. Not long after, a man named Clay also became alone because his partner couldn't take it, and was left by himself. Ava and Clay exchanged a glance. Then the two became partners, and continued searching for bodies in the houses. While searching in one house, Ava accidentally saw a corpse, standing blankly behind a shelf, its eyes fixed on her non-stop. Ava, seeing this for the first time, was stunned. She seemed to be thinking whether the person in front of her was still alive, and might still have a chance to be saved. But Clay beside her was terrified, and quickly ran out to release a flare. Not long after, a soldier arrived nearby. Without a word, he shot and killed the zombie in front of them. That night, Ava thought for a long time. Staying on the periphery all the time wasn't a solution. After all, her husband was inside the island, so she planned to sneak out at night when everyone was relaxed, and go alone to the heavily affected area to find her husband. But after just a few steps, she was discovered by a female soldier. Seeing this, Ava had no choice but to obediently go back, and sat with Clay, who was drinking alone. The two chatted about many things. The next morning, Ava was awakened by her husband, who had turned into a zombie. After waking up, she realized it was just a dream. Immediately, she and Clay started today's work of searching for bodies. The two arrived at a location and found an intact motorcycle there. Nearby lay a group of bodies that were partying and having fun. At this moment, Ava proposed a bold suggestion: to let Clay ride the motorcycle and take her secretly to the heavily affected area to find her husband. Anyway, it's all about searching for bodies. Initially, Clay was not very willing to go, but thinking about the unobstructed road ahead, plus the company of a beautiful woman, this is also a rare riding opportunity, so he agreed. While Clay was looking for gasoline to refuel the motorcycle, Ava started checking around nearby, but she was completely unaware that a female corpse slowly opened its eyes. After hearing the noise, Ava turned her head and looked with a flashlight, and discovered the female corpse that had just stood up. She approached to observe. The female corpse kept grinding its teeth, making crunching sounds. It sounded particularly eerie. Fortunately, Clay came back in time and called Ava away. The two hurriedly rode the motorcycle together and left there. They sped along the way. The road was full of intermittently stopped cars, unobstructed all the way, until they saw a car appearing in the distance. Clay quickly got off with Ava and secretly hid, afraid of being discovered by the patrolling soldiers and taken back. When they were hiding behind the car, a body appeared on the distant farmland. The body without arms, step by step approaching Ava and them. Ava stared intently at every move of the body, as if seeing her husband walking towards her, until the soldier driving over shot and exploded the body's head with one shot. This made Ava snap back to reality instantly. After dealing with the body, the soldiers whistled relaxedly and drove away. At this time, Ava turned to look at the body, as if seeing her husband's inevitable end. But she still didn't give up hope. As Clay rode the motorcycle towards the heavily affected area, the two got masks at an abandoned store. Passing through the yellow haze, they saw the scene of the heavily affected area. It seemed like a real hell on Earth. This scene shocked both of them. After traveling a long way, the two stopped at a house to rest, slightly washed the dust off their bodies with water. At this time, Clay was already somewhat tired. His shoulders were particularly sore. Ava, who had worked in massage, started massaging Clay, but at that moment, some noise came from behind. It turned out to be the homeowner. The homeowner's body, although missing a leg, still slowly stood up and walked behind Ava and them, thinking that these bodies moved extremely slowly. But who knew? The store owner's body suddenly pounced at them. Fortunately, a soldier appeared by chance and shot the store owner from behind. The soldier scanned Ava and Clay with his eyes, then stabbed the not completely dead body with a knife. After doing everything, he asked Ava and Clay why they appeared here. Ava said she was looking for her husband. Clay said he was accompanying Ava. After hearing this, the soldier thought for a moment. First handcuffed Clay, then locked Ava in the room. After he interrogated Clay carefully, he would come to let her out. So Ava waited and waited in the house, waited until she fell asleep, until the soldier's footsteps approached. She woke up. The soldier claimed Clay was extremely cunning, using going to the toilet as an excuse to escape his control. He chased Clay fiercely for several hours, but that kid ran really too fast. He didn't catch up. When he learned Ava was going to the hardest hit area to find her husband, the soldier said he would take her there. Ava got in the car after hearing that. The car drove until late at night. The soldier stopped outside a house. Then he took Ava into the house. Ava asked why they weren't continuing the journey. The soldier said people need food like iron needs steel. He made a meal and started eating, and suggested Ava eat a little too. Ava had no appetite at that moment. Her mind was full of finding her husband. Seeing this, the soldier started telling his tragic story. He also had a wife similar to Ava, also pregnant, but before their happy life could begin, a weapon experiment turned his wife into a corpse. He always blamed himself for not protecting his wife, and hoped to atone for his failure. He wanted Ava to wear his wife's clothes and pretend to be his wife, to complete a proposal, to find her husband. Ava agreed right away. Back in the house, she changed into the soldier's wife's clothes. Soon after, the soldier came to the room and started chatting with Ava, treating Ava as his own wife. From this it was clear, this soldier, due to the blow of his wife's death, was mentally a bit unstable. When the soldier noticed Ava wasn't wearing the ring, he demanded Ava remove her wedding ring with her husband and put on the one between him and his wife. After hearing this, Ava reluctantly said she was willing to wear the clothes and had done enough already, but the soldier felt it wasn't enough and forcefully demanded Ava wear the ring. Ava realized something was wrong. She quickly grabbed a nearby bottle and smashed it at the soldier, yelling curses at the soldier, then hid in the nearby room. The soldier kept begging Ava to open the door, At that moment, Ava discovered a shocking scene. She saw a pregnant female corpse lying on the bed. Obviously, this female corpse was the soldier's wife. Ava also realized the soldier's perversion, thinking it was best to leave quickly. So she hurriedly climbed out the window. She quietly went to the front door, thinking to grab the car keys and drive away quickly. So she carefully opened the door, but before she could, the soldier saw her from the stairs. Ava quickly turned and ran. She ran all the way into the nearby warehouse and hid. The soldier chased after her. Just then, Ava discovered another suffocating scene. In this warehouse, many reanimated corpses were locked up. They stood in a row in the warehouse, looking like the soldier's family. Ava realized she had no way out. She immediately said she was the soldier's wife. She told the soldier to back away slowly. Then she walked out of the warehouse. The deranged soldier thought Ava agreed to wear the ring and complete the ceremony, but unbeknownst to him, Ava, from behind, took out the sharp object she had hidden earlier and stabbed it into the soldier's neck. The soldier bled profusely on the spot, finally collapsing weakly to the ground. After doing all this, Ava drove away from there. The next day she woke up in the car, but found the car was out of gas. Helpless, she took an axe for self-defense and walked toward her husband's location on foot. But not long after, a fast-moving corpse ran toward her. Ava fell to the ground in fright. After recovering, she ran away immediately, finally engaging in a chase inside the car with the corpse. Fortunately, Ava picked up an iron rod and smashed it hard at the corpse's head, resolving the danger. Then she continued on her way. That night she planned to rest in an RV. First carrying out the corpse from the RV, she tidied up roughly and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, some noise woke her up. She stepped out of the RV to check. As a result, she discovered a corpse holding a shovel, continuously digging at that corpse. After realizing Ava's presence, it turned its head to glance at her, then turned back and continued digging. Seeing this, Ava helped this elderly corpse dig together. Then they buried the other corpses in the dug pit. After finishing all this, Ava discovered the elderly corpse sitting motionless in the pit. She seemed to understand what the corpse meant, so she smashed the shovel toward the elderly corpse and buried him together with his family. The next day, Ava finally arrived at her husband's workplace. She opened the door and saw that familiar yet unfamiliar figure. Although she had known the outcome early on, she still decided to see it with her own eyes. But the result made her even more disappointed and sad, because Ava turned her head and glimpsed 2 wine glasses, one of which had a red lipstick mark. She never expected her husband to be on a business trip here. Then in the bathroom, she discovered another person's corpse. This scene made Ava unsure whether to feel sad or happy. At that moment, there was a noise outside. It turned out Clay had arrived here. When he saw Ava's sad appearance, Clay became her confidant, listening to Ava's story all along. Afterward, Clay accompanied Ava to have fun there for a while. After Ava's mood calmed down a bit, the two placed Ava's husband's corpse on the boat, letting it drift with the current. After that, they drove back together. But on the way, they encountered a corpse. Seeing this, Ava got out of the car to check. She saw the female corpse look at Ava a few times, then turn and leave the place. At that moment, Ava heard a baby's cry. She hurriedly followed the sound and ran over. As a result, she found a normal newborn baby, obviously born by that female corpse. From this it can be seen, not all corpses after the second awakening will turn into cold-blooded and ruthless zombies. The truly cold-blooded and ruthless are those cold weapons, and the black hands manipulating the weapons behind them. There is no hell on earth originally. If there is, it's all man-made. The test of humanity seems to never stop, because that dark bottom line, no one can guess or touch. This is the entire content of our Burying the Dead. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.